What's up, y'all? Strategist Boy Team back at you with another video. And yo, I wanted to kind of chime in a little bit on this Nintendo Switch OLED system. Seems like everybody's either hating this thing or loving this thing. And look, to me, it's like people will buy whatever Nintendo makes, honest to God. Whether it's their games, whether it's their hardware. Well, they didn't buy the Wii U, but realistically, the Wii U kind of got shot in the foot by Nintendo themselves. So if they had dropped the Wii U down to maybe about $200, if they released the Wii U at $200, it probably would have did a lot better. But anyway, Nintendo can pretty much do no wrong in the eyes of the majority of its fans, from what I've seen at least. Now, me personally, I've never been that big into Nintendo. I've had Nintendo consoles before, and the majority of my Nintendo consoles I've bought for third-party games. I never really been that huge into their first party. To me, I think their first party is pretty it's okay. I feel like there's a lot of other third-party games from other developers, even games from Sony and Microsoft, I have way more interest in than Nintendo games. Nintendo games kind of just seem like been there, done that, got the t-shirt. So it's like their shit just, whenever I see their shit, even whenever I play their shit, it just, like, I'll have my enjoyment of it, but their games just don't really, they just don't really do that much for me, honest to God. I can get more in detail with that in another video, but yeah, Nintendo just doesn't really do it for me as much as, say, PC gaming, Sony, and Microsoft does for me. In any event, yeah, so the Switch OLED basically got revealed, and Nintendo is shafting people again with this shit. So essentially what they're doing is they're charging you an extra $50 for a OLED screen and a little bit bigger OLED screen and an Ethernet port built into the dock and some better sound. Now I'm like looking at this shit and I'm like, bruh, people are gonna be buying probably gonna be buying this shit up. And to me, I'm like, this is the same exact shit, just with a new screen. And people are actually accepting this. Now, me personally, I had a Switch. I sold my Switch because I needed the money for something else. And I barely played it, so I just sold it. That's the thing, when it comes to Nintendo consoles, I don't play them. I own them, barely play them. I have my Wii over there. Don't touch that shit. Don't touch that shit. My 3DS. I played a lot of 3DS in like 2019. Oh, 2018-ish. 2018, 2019. And then I just completely dropped it. Just because, like I said, it just didn't really do much for me. You know what I'm saying? Those Nintendo consoles, outside of like third party, I don't really have much interest in their first party games. That's just me. That's just strategic, okay? But when it comes to this whole Switch OLED thing, I just want to say something that, you know, I noticed. Alright, so you guys know one of my favorite consoles of all time is the PlayStation Vita. One of my favorite handhelds of all time is the Vita. Okay? Now, you might be asking yourself, why is he showing the PlayStation Vita of all things? The Vita actually had an OLED screen. Okay? The Vita actually had an OLED screen in, when was it? This Vita released in 2012. Okay? This is the first model. This is actually my second Vita. My first Vita actually got fucked up. But luckily, I had the warranty on it and I got a new one. But the Vita has an OLED screen. And this came out in 2012. Keep that in mind. 2012. Okay? So Nintendo it's trying to sell us the same mediocre Switch hardware with barely any features, with barely any online infrastructure, with a lot of its key games were already on the Wii U for $350, almost $400, when you can get a Series X with 1440p gaming and a whole host of other shit that the Switch still to this day does not have. To me personally, I gotta say, that's just, it's ridiculous, man. Like I said, Nintendo is way behind when it comes to things that these other platforms are doing. And like I said, I'm not that big into this shit, and I honestly don't really understand how. And I grew up with Nintendo. I've had Nintendo consoles when I was little, but I don't really understand how Nintendo in this day and time can still thrive as much as they do with what they do with the hardware, with their games. Nintendo just kind of produces the same type of shit. And it's like when you look at other companies, they try to get different types of games out there. Sega used to be a main competitor of Nintendo. Sega has Yakuza, Sega has Shenmue, Sega has Valkyria Chronicles, Sega has Binary Domain, Sega has all kinds of different variety of shit. But Nintendo has like the same type of, shit, man. It's just they have this, you have different stuff, of course, but it's just you come to expect the same type of games from that company. And it's like, I just don't know how people are really as invested in Nintendo as they are. And they give you shit like this, a damn OLED screen is a little bit of features, and the actual Switch itself is pretty much still the same. And they don't even try to give you more with the Switch. Switch has been out for almost 5 years now, and we still don't even have messaging on the friends list on the Switch. That's why I that's why I sold my shit, because I don't play it. And I'm glad a lot of the Switch games are coming to PC, so if there's any kind of third-party Switch games I'm interested in, I can just get them on PC, like Monster Hunter Stories 2. That game looks awesome. I'm getting it on PC. I ain't playing that on Switch. It looks like shit on Switch. Switch holds back a lot of its games, so if you guys want to see me talk shit about the Switch, I can. I don't particularly think the Switch is a very good console. I think it's pretty shitty, to be honest with you. But that's just me. Like I said, it has good games. The hardware itself is trash. So yeah, this was Jesus 418. Yo, the Vita had an OLED 8 years ago. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. My Vita had an OLED 8 years ago. I bought it in 2012. So this is Jesus 418, y'all. I love you guys. Peace.